Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. The Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zaki and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 163. My name is Zaki Hassan. I am here with Brian Hall, and it is 2019.
Wow! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! We are now in the Blade Runner era.
Oh yeah. Wait, so what is that? The year the movie takes place, or some event happens?
No, that's the year it takes place. 2019.
Oh, that's funny because I remember, the Roy Batty character. I think his birth date was like 3 years back, and people were posting about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
So after we're done recording, I'm very excited because I'm going to hop in my flying car and head over to my Pan Am flight.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then it's funny, this January they're installing that flaming tower downtown Los Angeles, so we can go check that out.
I'm looking forward to seeing that on my next visit, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
It's funny how we are scratching off various future movie dates as we move into the future.
You know, I was just at a restaurant the other night with our buddy Sean, and as we were walking out, there was a guy who was wearing the Marty McFly 2015 hat, that sort of lenticular color thing.
Yeah.
And so I stopped him and I was like, "Hey man, I love your hat." And I was like, "I have one like that too." And so we walked out, and then I was like, "Oh," because I was thinking, "Yeah, future hat." I was like, "No, that's from a time that was 3 years ago."
That's a nostalgia hat now.
That's a nostalgia hat now. Yeah, that would be in our whatever that store was where he buys the almanac. Now it's like a relic.
It'd be funny if you're like, "Oh, you like Back to the Future too, huh?" And he'd be like, "What?"
Yeah. Actually, that did cross my mind as I tapped his shoulder. Yeah. What?
That's really funny. But yeah, we are here, and it is our annual tradition that we spend the first episode of the new year by looking back and picking our favorite movies of the year that just ended.
Yeah, it's really fun to do, but also kind of challenging. I think you and I were both like, ugh.
This year was a struggle, I gotta admit.
But that's a good thing, right? There was just too many to pick from.
Yeah, a struggle in the sense of I was genuinely tussling with what to include, what to put as an honorable mention, what order to put stuff in, and we're friendly with our audience. We can let them in behind the curtain. We were supposed to record yesterday, and this is on me. I had to call an audible at the very last minute where I was like, I just made my list 5 minutes ago. I just formalized my list 5 minutes ago, and I got to sleep on it.
Yeah.
and I'll tell you what, I'm glad I did, because last night before I went to bed, I ended up making more changes.
Well, you know what? I completely understood, because I had made my list the night before, and it was a struggle. And then I woke up that morning to record, and I was hastily tinkering with it, thinking that we were going to start any minute. And so then I finally got it to a place where I was like, okay, finish line, wipe the sweat off my brow. And then you reached out and said that. I was like, no, I get it.
So we're here, and I think our episode will be stronger for it.
Yeah.
But before we get into the list and obviously some headlines and stuff, is there anything you've seen lately that you can say without stepping on anything that you're going to say later?
Not really. Some of the stuff that I have watched might make an appearance later.
Well, there we go.
We'll talk about those things. But I feel like I'm one of the only people that hasn't watched Bird Box. How about you?
I'm choosing not to watch Bird Box.
I did have a little bit of that feeling where, again, I don't know how many people have actually watched it. I'm sure a ton of people. But I still wonder how much of this is like a calculated marketing thing that will be studied in marketing classes down the line on Netflix behalf. So there's still a little part of me that, people ask if I've seen it or, and I'm like, no. And I don't intend to.
With a little smile, with the hint of a smile.
Yeah, it's almost pushing me away, all the talk.
You haven't seen it?
Yeah, and it's funny, I wanted to watch that Bandersnatch thing too, the Choose Your Own Adventure on Netflix, the Black Mirror movie, and I haven't heard good things, so that's kind of kept me away too.
That's a shame, because he was really good on Sherlock.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Bandersnatch.
Oh, but I think, okay. I thought you meant an actor in the film.
That one didn't land. No.
No.
It's early.
I'm sipping my coffee. Yeah.
Well, I'm sort of, I'm in my sort of winding down my winter vacation, so I've been trying to get some movie viewing in, old timey movie viewing in with the boys. So I've been going through the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh, cool. How's that going?
I love these movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'd mentioned it earlier to me in the week. And that's one of those things when I don't think about them like I do Star Wars, let's say. Like they're not just concurrently running through my brain all day.
Right.
But when you mentioned them, I started thinking of my favorite moments, and I was like, man, those movies aren't just cool to look at. Like those are very rich in character, and they have really wonderful moments, and those are movies I should revisit more often.
Yeah, we can talk about the relative demerits of the Hobbit trilogy, but I'm in a place where it's like, it's all done with now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at all 6 of those movies together, you say this whole thing is a remarkable achievement.
Right.
So certainly I hope that people who passed on the Hobbit movies would be willing to give them another look now with the passage of time. And I think that includes you, right?
Yeah. I actually never finished them.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen the third one. And I didn't dislike them. I think I just kind of wasn't interested at the time.
Yeah.
So they were never like my first choice, but I would...
What I would say,
nice
Brian,
to finish that.
I'll tell you, Brian, here's what I would say. I would say watch the Hobbit movies before doing a rewatch of the Lord of the Rings movies.
You think they reward a little bit the?
I think so. Mm-hmm. I think they play better. I think because the Lord of the Rings movies are, I would say, probably objectively better.
Yeah, sure.
So it kind of builds up,
Mm-hmm.
And there's a nice. I mean, it's with the boys. That's exactly what I did. Is I watched them in chronological order,
mm-hmm.
and so it was fun to, in Fellowship of the Ring, have Gandalf be like, oh, like I remember when Bilbo, blah blah blah, blah. And he's referring to something specifically that we've seen in the other movies. You're like, oh, see,
That's pretty cool.
But I was watching The Two Towers yesterday, and I see. First of all, I was telling my kids about this. I was like, this movie was very special for me and Uncle Sean, because back when we were in Chicago, Lord of the Rings, the first one came out, and me and Sean, you were already in California by then, right?
I may have been.
Yeah, in 2001, you would have been here. Yeah, but it was just him and me, and we'd literally be like, hey, you want to go watch Fellowship of the Ring again? Okay, and then we.
Oh, really? Wow, one of those.
We watched it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing The Two Towers opening night. I tweeted this too. I'm like, I remember being there opening night, and the first time you see Aragorn and you hear like the Fellowship music, come up.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can feel your pulse start to quicken a little bit.
Oh, great score.
Right?
Howard Shore, right?
Oh my God. So, I think that those movies, it's an experience that will never be replicated as far as being there and being part of that audience for it as they were coming out live.
Yeah. I remember I caught them, of course, when they came out, and you just triggered a memory when I was in college, being at a Denny's with some friends, and it was like 3 a.m. or something, and people were spilling in from the midnight screening of Lord of the Rings because it was so late.
And it's funny because I went into it completely cold. I was not, a fan of the book. I wasn't
Same.
Not a fan, but I didn't know about the books.
Yeah, same.
And so the fact that it was able to win me over so thoroughly by the end of the first movie.
Yeah, it's just great cast and great characters and just so many amazing moments,
Yeah, and it's crazy because you look at Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn and you're like, what would the Stuart Townsend Aragorn have been like?
Right. Maybe a little more rock and roll.
Yeah, and you're just like
a guy that you believe could survive in the woods.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, possibly. All the casting is just so perfect,
Yeah.
And
how are your
famously,
kids enjoying it?
They've seen him before.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my oldest remembers them because let's see, when did the 2015 it would have been, right? So that was 4 years ago now. So he would have been like 8.
Mm-hmm.
But my younger ones don't. For them it's kind of just like imagery that they remember.
Yeah, sure.
That's fun. Actually, while we're speaking about my children, I'm very happy. My daughter, who is 18 months old, she turned a corner last night. She picked up a magnet of a superhero off of my fridge. She looked at it and she looked at me and she said, "Superman."
And that's 5 out of 5.
Yeah, exactly. At that moment, I dropped to my knees and just tears started streaming down my face. Yeah.
Yeah, Coldplay started playing in the background. Tear stream.
And you got to realize, I live in a house where the difficulty level is high because not too long ago, my wife, unironically, was like, "Hey, what color is Superman's cape? Is it blue?" And I nearly left her right then. I was like, "This is over. What are we doing here?"
Yeah, what are we doing here? You sent me the video. It was adorable.
Yeah, it's very funny. She's also she's also learned the Baby Shark song.
I am sort of familiar with this. I have no idea why. I know it's become a meme recently.
Yeah, I only know about it because of the kids.
Yeah, is that an old song?
I truly don't know. It's an annoying song. I know that.
Yeah, right. So your kids singing it?
I can say that with certainty. Yeah, they're all singing it. So the baby's like, "Baby shark, do 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 do." I mean, she's like 18 months. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cute.
Yeah, she's fun. She's nice. I like her.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about the other ones, but she's okay.
Yeah, good. She can stick around.
She'll do.
Yeah.
But anything else?
Well, speaking of Peter Jackson, have you heard of his movie "They Shall Not Grow Old"? His documentary.
I feel like I have. Yes,
Yeah,
it's like the black and white, but it's in color, right?
Yeah, he took World War I footage.
That's right.
That was just beaten and haggard and whatever, and he went through some sort of extensive process to restore it and colorize it, and just with he can still the shaky frame and turn it into HD footage through whatever wizardry he has available to him. It's amazing.
Well, he has Gandalf available, so
that's true. But it's just you see this footage from before you were born, like way before you were born, and it almost distances that time or those people from you. Like they feel like from a different time.
When we look at archival footage,
yeah. and then when you modernize it and make it look almost as good as footage that you could have shot yourself.
Okay.
Suddenly the faces are clearer and you're like, oh, I could bump into that face on the street, and it makes them seem more like you.
Yeah.
You can relate to them a little bit more. And so I think that's sort of the intent of this documentary. And it's I think it only had 2 days in theaters, and they weren't even right next to each other. It was like one day in December, one day in January. And if I remember right, I think it also made a couple $1 million. Like it did really well. But I'd really I wanted to check that out. It'll probably be at home. But
yeah, I've heard of it. You kind of you launched my memory about it.
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea. I kind of like that. Like I think about that a lot when you watch a movie from like the 70s or the 60s. And I think, we're just used to the film looking a little bleached and, sort of extra grainy or faded or something. But it's like, no, like that's not what that day looked like to them. That day looked as clear as our day did, but they just happened to be wearing different clothes. So I think about that kind of thing a lot anyway. So I think maybe there's a certain appeal.
Yeah, no, I'm very curious. I'm curious to hear what you think, and then I'll,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm sure I'll check it out at some point.
Make my determination.
Yeah, sure.
Why don't we take a little break and then we'll come back, talk some headlines, and then we can get into our lists.
Sounds good.
And we're back, and not too many headlines this week, Brian. We mentioned last time about Kevin Hart having turned down the Oscar hosting opportunity. Because of his controversy. Remember that? We were talking about that last time?
Oh, yeah.
This is now a moving target because obviously we're on top of the story now. So the latest news is that Ellen DeGeneres tried to get the Academy to reconsider
Yeah, she had him on his show and sort of
Yes.
had a dialogue. I didn't watch it, but apparently had some sort of dialogue with him and was encouraging the Academy to give him a second shot.
And so the Academy was like, we're willing, and Kevin Hart said, no, thank you.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that part of the story.
Yeah.
So he turned it down again.
Yeah, he's basically like, it's not going to be me. Whoever it is, it ain't going to be me.
Interesting. Did he use that opportunity then to say the things that people were sort of feeling he should have said the first time?
That's kind of the weird thing is he's like, I've addressed this in the past. And everyone's like, you kind of didn't. Like I don't think he's done like a full-on apology.
Right. Something that felt like a straightforward, this is the intent of what I'm saying right now, is an apology. Yeah.
Well, and it's weird because his this is what he said on Ellen. He's like, this was an attack. This was somebody digging into my social history to find something to end me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the specifics of who found that stuff or whatever, but I mean, in that sense, it's very similar to what happened to James Gunn.
Right, sure.
And, this is an ongoing conversation that you and I are having of like, well, what is this the new normal now, where the minute anybody gets announced for anything, we just do it, we just spelunk into their tweets.
Right.
I remember reading a few months ago how Ryan Johnson just like deleted all of his tweets before like X year.
Right, sure.
And he's like, I have nothing to hide, but I don't know what the hell I said back then,
Yeah. Yeah.
It almost feels like that's what needs to happen now.
May as well, I guess, And then, I mean, even obviously these stories are happening because people have said like offensive things, but it's like you could just say something dumb, or ignorant, or just, I don't know, like 10-year-old you and 20-year-old you, and like doesn't always represent present you.
Well, that's the thing.
So there's something to be said about, yeah.
I mean, I have
some things behind.
I have students who follow me on Twitter.
Yeah.
And so I follow them back. And so occasionally I see some of their tweets. And there's nothing like offensive or anything on that level. But I look at that stuff and I'm like, I guess that's what I would have been talking about if I had Twitter at their age.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? And it's stuff that had I tweeted that back then, I would be looking at it now being like, what was I talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of Bird Box.
Right.
I can't even tell you how much Bird Box crap I've seen this week.
That's really funny. That feels like one of those memes that's going to burn out pretty fast.
Yeah.
That's
going to be one of those things at year end. It's going to, in recaps, you're going to see that like, yeah, people were talking about that. Remember that back at the beginning of the year? And you're going to go, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It'll be like the ice bucket challenge. Remember that?
Exactly. Is that your Salt Bay?
Yeah, right. I'm very curious now. I mean, it feels like the Academy Awards show is when? Like March?
I think it's in February. It's
okay.
Kind of, late February.
So my prediction ain't going to be a host.
Who does it? I saw someone petitioning the Muppets. I was like, well, that's a good idea.
I mean, at this point, it's time for the novel because the normal approach isn't working. So novelty is going to have to win the day.
Yeah, I don't know. Or, I mean, do you just... Yeah, no, I guess, because you have different people as presenters. So, do you just not have one overall MC? That seems kind of odd, actually, but I don't know.
Has that ever happened before, where you don't have, like, a host?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm not a huge Oscar historian or anything, but I don't know. Or you just... I mean, you could trot out one of the tried and trues, like Billy Crystal or something, but I know for ratings' sake, that's something they've been concerned about the past few years. It doesn't seem like what they'd want.
I mean, I don't think Billy Crystal would do it.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman, that would be... Okay, wait, hold on. So I Googled, has there ever been an Oscar show without a host? And Google is ready with an answer. I love you, Google. What would I do without you?
And Google purrs.
It says here that... Hold on.
Oh, whether there's been no host, I see.
Whether
I thought you were about to say that someone had been announced.
It says the Oscars have gone hostless before, though not since 1988.
So, I wonder what the reason, 88. Wonder why.
Well, let me find out.
Maybe there was like a host strike like all the hosts
Strike.
united.
Yeah, I wonder why. So that would have been. I'm on the Wikipedia page. I'm just curious if it says anything.
For the 88. 61st was 88.
For the 61st, yeah. So this is the show would have aired in 89, but
Oh, right.
and
What would 88 have been? I'm going to use this time to speculate. I'm sure Roger Rabbit won Best Visual Effects.
well, best picture. Are you guessing?
Yeah, just sort of playing a little bit of a while you're digging. Was that Accidental Tourist? Was that a thing that year?
I could not tell you. I know Rain Man won Best Picture.
Ah, of course. I haven't seen that in a while.
Okay, here we go. So Alan Carr was the producer. Instead of hiring a host for the proceedings, Alan Carr heavily relied on presenters, often grouped in pairs that had some connection.
Okay,
so there's
like
no
the
reason.
cast of this
Yeah,
presents
but
whatever.
there was no reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
I wonder if there was a reason, but we weren't in the Twitter age. We
good point.
Didn't find out at the speed of lightning.
Yeah, well, Chevy Chase hosted the year before, and I'm assuming that went as badly as one might expect.
Was that pre his talk show?
Yeah, because that was like early '90s.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just imagining what a Chevy Chase hosted Oscars would look like.
Yeah.
And,
Wouldn't want to have been on that crew.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Anywho, so we'll keep you posted on this story, which again, neither of us is particularly interested in.
No, I mean, I watch them every year. It's just a thing. I've always done it since I was a kid, and now I have a group of friends. We get together and watch them. But
now I just watch
don't
Twitter.
really.
I just watch Twitter as the awards are happening.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say for me, it's about the the Oscar pool and that sort of thing. Like I don't really particularly care who hosts.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Other news. Hey, this is interesting. The Pirates franchise, Pirates of the Caribbean, is a multi-billion-dollar behemoth for Disney, and they're not going to let a little thing like Johnny Depp being completely radioactive now stop them from making more movies. Now it's kind of funny because the last one I think cleared $1 billion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I guess I have to admit it. No one liked it, but I did. I actually thought it was a lot.
You were the one. That's right.
For being sort of like a little like a swashbuckling adventure, I remember thinking the action was great. So I mean, story wise, I don't know. That's not why I go to the Pirates movies.
I mean, for me, if you recall, that came at the tail end because I mainlined all 4 previous movies in the span of like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Leading into that, so by the time number 5 came on, it was like being, just bludgeoned with a mallet.
That absolutely makes sense. I think the first one, most people agree, the first one is great, and I think that one has.
See, I would say that the first one is good.
Oh, I see. Well, sure. I mean, I just mean relative to themselves. But
sure.
Yeah, I like the first one, and I think it has a plot you can follow. And then I remember after that, it was almost like they were purposefully trying to make something convoluted and difficult to understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Transformers syndrome.
Yeah.
But I mean, by movie 5, Johnny Depp seemed drunk and disinterested, even while playing a character who was specifically meant to be drunk and disinterested.
Yeah, it's true, and it's also easy to forget that before the Pirates movies were thought of as box office poison.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, this was the thing that changed the tide. Well, I can't believe how many puns I'm using right now.
Yeah, that's impressive. I'm about to say.
But yeah, Johnny Depp right now's got a lot of personal things going on that are royally unpleasant, and but Disney doesn't want to stop.
Plus, and I mean, on top of that, he's just not the draw that he was a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, and also, he's in the latest Fantastic Beast movie, and a lot of people aren't happy about that, and I think J.K. Rowling is on the defense now with that
because of his casting.
Because of his involvement.
I see.
So anyway, but yeah, you don't. When your last movie makes $1 billion, you're gonna make another one, and so Disney decided to drop Depp, which apparently is gonna slice $90 million off of its budget.
Amazing.
That is insanity. $90 million.
But is that? I mean, that's not up front.
That has to be, yes. No, that there's no way. But just knowing that they're going to, whatever they make from that movie, $90 million of it is going to go to him. I mean, that's almost like $100 million to one person.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
I read somewhere that he's made something like $500 million off the Pirates movies.
I mean, it makes sense. I know there was some article about him. I don't remember if it was GQ or Rolling Stone or some profile, and it was just talking about his lavish lifestyle, and it was just his wine budget per month was just like out of control. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
guess,
he lives a like Krusty the Clown lifestyle.
That's a great way to put it.
You know, he's like burning Action Comics #1 while he's lighting a cigar. I mean, it's that level of excess.
Yes.
And now he's bottoming out.
Yeah, and then I mean, real life stuff aside, also I was reading about this on Slash Film, and they made a interesting point where it was, you know, Captain Jack Sparrow wasn't the lead of the first movie. You know, like it was sort of an ensemble, but then people responded to him so much they sort of, you know, catered to that character, thinking that's what everyone wanted to see. And by the time you get to the fifth movie, he was the lead, and that gets, you know, it gets to be a lot, right?
Well, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can watch Pirates 1 and not come away thinking Jack Sparrow's the main character.
Well,
like yes, like it's not. He's
Orlando
not the Han
Bloom
Solo.
is
Let me put it that way. He's not the Han Solo. Like, or if you say, oh, Orlando Bloom is the Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Right, like he's more important. It would be like if Han Solo became the focus of the story after we were introduced to him at Mos Eisley.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think I'm somewhere in the middle on that. Like, I agree that it's looking at that screenplay. If you weren't even watching Johnny Depp doing what he was doing, you would probably be like, yes, like Orlando Bloom's character is the Luke Skywalker, but he does. I think a little of him goes a long way.
Jack Sparrow, you mean?
Yeah,
that I agree.
They definitely leaned into it a lot, but I also, on the other hand, feel like I do think he will be missed. I mean, those movies have an energy, and that energy is because of that character.
Yeah, so that's my question: are they? I'm assuming they're not ignoring everything that's come before. They're not just hard rebooting.
I can't imagine, but they are bringing in Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, the Deadpool writing team.
Okay.
Which is, you know, they kind of have their own sort of flavor, funky brand. You know what I mean? So that'll be interesting. That you assume they're going to keep them comedies. Yes.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm curious. I mean, I'd love to say I'm interested. I'm really not.
I would love to say I'm interested. I love that.
I'm as interested as I am in watching the Oscar show. You know.
Yeah, sure.
I'm curious though because I understand Disney's desire to keep the money boat afloat. Huh?
Oh,
Trying to keep up with you.
Well, you don't want to have that franchise walk the plank, right?
And they got a bunch of sharks in the Disney front office.
That's true.
who want gold bullion continuing to flow in. Okay, done now.
On Stranger Tides. Moving on. No,
yes.
Just start saying things now.
We'll see. So I'm very interested. I mean, I do know that young people have much more of an affinity for this franchise than I do. I've said before.
Oh, really?
You know, Pirates 2 was the very first time where I felt completely detached from the zeitgeist.
Oh, interesting.
Because it came out like around the same time. It came out like a week after Superman Returns. I remember that. And I was in Chicago, and I was at like, Milk Cow or some ice cream place. And like a bunch of kids came in dressed as Pirates characters. Having just gotten out of or on their way to the second Pirates movie.
Okay.
And I was like, I didn't realize people were that excited for that movie.
You know, I had a similar experience. I remember seeing people dressed up like the characters by a theater as well. And I guess I hadn't thought much about it, but yeah, I didn't realize that was sort of a thing.
Yeah. So and it's been downhill ever since of just being repeated. It culminated now in Baby Shark being a thing, and I'm I don't understand young people. That's the point.
I'm happy for your daughter.
Yeah, there you go. What else we got going on?
Well, I thought this was just worth mentioning. On New Year's Eve at midnight, Netflix announced the season 3 release date for Stranger Things.
Season 3.
So it's going to be July 4th, 2019. which is cool. I love Stranger Things, and I thought it was worth mentioning because as this, we roll off of 2018 here. 2018, Stranger Things did not air one episode, yet it was one of the most popular shows based on what do you call it? Like impressions made online through Twitter and whatever the heck else,
Okay.
So like backing up a little bit even more, Netflix is the number one streaming service in the world, and they account for 70% of total demand for digital-oriented series.
Okay.
70%. The others are, Prime, Hulu, and whatever else, and each of those is about 10%. So I mean, they're a behemoth.
Yeah.
And in an entire year where Stranger Things didn't air, it made 23.4 million demand expressions, far above anything else.
That's amazing.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. I just found that interesting on its own. But with that said, now we're in a year where it's actually going to air, so I'm sure it'll probably top that list again.
I have still not seen minute 1 of Stranger Things.
Oh, well, I'm really surprised. I think you would really enjoy it.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like this will be the year. I'm thinking I'll watch it with my oldest kid. I think it'll be something fun we can watch together.
Yeah, I was just gonna say maybe with Hamza. Yeah, it does the we were talking about that with Bumblebee, where it seems like a lot of people are trying to do that 80s thing, but very few people can stick the landing correctly.
Yeah.
And this is one that totally figured it out. Maybe one of the first, actually.
I'm curious if it. I mean, do you know this? Is there an end game in sight?
I thought they said 5 seasons. Like
Okay.
they do have an arc for the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I mean-
you also have it stars kids, and they're going to age quickly, so they gotta figure that out.
Definitely you see Netflix being pretty aggressive with how they're moving forward in the original content arena because, they're just cutting ties with Marvel.
Right.
Everyone was kind of surprised that they decided to cancel Daredevil.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's them because that decision was entirely Netflix based. And I think it's come down to, well, if Disney's going to be doing their streaming thing, then we're not going to, why would we want to be in business with them? That kind of thing.
Yeah. But it's, I was thinking about this week because, again, Bird Box has come up so much. I feel like every other thing I see on Instagram is about Bird Box. Roma, which I watched this past week, that's like it's going to be an Oscar frontrunner, I believe.
Yes.
And then also someone was telling me that Netflix, this last Christmas especially, I feel like everyone was talking about the Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yes.
I think people have been watching them every year, but for some reason it was like now's the year where you could actually see people wearing sweatshirts that said, this is my Hallmark Christmas movie watching sweatshirt. It was officially a thing.
Right.
And I could be behind this. Maybe it was a couple years ago. But anyway, Netflix has their own very, very similarly styled Christmas movies. And I was thinking, how much stuff does this thing have? You know what I mean? Like, they paid who knows what for Alfonso Cuarón's movie. They paid for the Sandra Bullock movie. They got Stranger Things and all these series. And then they also have all these, like, Christmas movies I wasn't even aware of to compete with Hallmark. Like, they're not even, like, HBO.
Yeah.
Like, they're a cable network. Like, they're, like, a whole slew of channels. Like, I just can't even fathom the money that they have and how they organize all
Well,
that.
this is the problem, Brian, is that the money that they have is not as much as you'd think. I mean, in order to have that much original content, you're just putting all kinds of money out there to get all kinds of stuff in. And when you think about it, the sheer volume of original stuff they have versus the stuff people are actually talking about is pretty vastly disproportionate.
Yeah, it's I don't remember what it was, but I did the math one time when I was seeing how many US subscribers, but then there's subscribers all over the planet and what they're making monthly. And it's interesting because say like a Bird Box, I'd say that was a huge thing. That made a huge dent culturally. And I haven't seen it, but what would that have made if that was in theaters? Like there would have been a measurable profit. But if you put it on Netflix and you still have that same huge cultural dent, you're still getting the same amount of revenue per month, right? So, I don't understand how they...
Yeah, how do you become profitable?
How do you become profitable? I mean, I guess they're always profitable in some way, but, how do you continue to grow? You know what I mean?
It's it's not an a la carte model like Voodoo or something where people are
Right.
purchasing the thing.
And the one thing that does really well gets rewarded somehow.
Yeah, you know.
Like they could have a month where people don't watch anything great, and they're going to make the same amount of money, and then they could have like a January, and they're going to make the same amount of money. So
Yeah, I don't know.
It's intriguing to me. I don't know.
It is. I do feel like in this, and maybe the tale is yet to be told, but I think eventually it'll be a situation where it's other studios and content producers who benefit from the Netflix model more than Netflix itself, because what we're seeing now, 2019 onward, is the fracturing of the streaming audience.
Yes.
Because it used to be Netflix was kind of one-stop shopping.
Yep.
And now, let's be real. I mean, Disney Plus is going to be a monster.
Well, so here we are, right? 2019, Netflix, 70% of the streaming market.
Yeah, that's not going
So
to
I'll be very curious once Disney Plus launches how much that's going to blow up.
I mean, you're going to see a lot of people leaving Netflix.
See, but that's the thing, too. I wonder if there's something to it where it's just this monthly charge, you forget about it. It takes work. Like, why would you quit Netflix? Like, it'd have to be something to make you go in and remember your login, because it doesn't log you out, which is kind of genius. And it would take an active effort. And what would force people to do that?
Well, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Have both,
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think at some point, if people are cutting the cord in favor of streaming, and then they're spending like the same amount on various streaming services as they were on cable, is that feasible? Is that something they want,
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways,
we shall see.
We shall see. It's funny. We were talking about Netflix and their Marvel properties and whatnot. I wanted to mention this. This is something we didn't talk about before, but this is a Marvel movie on the way that I'm really excited about, and it is Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu.
I don't know this. This is theatrical?
This is the plan. It's a theatrical movie, and it's something that I have been pushing for a long time, because this is one of my favorite comic series of all time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, what is it?
So it's about a guy called the Master of Kung Fu. He is, as the name implies, Brian, a master of Kung Fu. So the deal here, this is kind of interesting. Back in the 70s, you had the Kung Fu craze because of Bruce Lee. And because of the Kung Fu TV show. Right? So it was this weird period that has never been replicated, where suddenly everybody was super into martial arts. So Marvel wanted to capitalize on that. They're like, we should do like a martial arts comic. And so they got the rights to the Kung Fu TV series. And the plan was they were going to do a Kung Fu just based on that TV show. But they also had the rights to a series of novels about a character called Fu Manchu. You familiar with Fu Manchu?
Only as like slang, I guess, for a style of mustache.
There you go. Yeah, so Fu Manchu, yeah. That's right. That's what he's known for now. So Fu Manchu is the main character in a series of books. He's actually the main villain. He's this ancient Oriental warlord who wants to conquer the world, basically. And you look at that now, and it's extremely offensive. He's like all the yellow peril stereotypes and everything else. But the folks at Marvel came up with something that was very interesting, and they said, instead of doing a straight Kung Fu comic based on the TV show, instead of doing something about Fu Manchu, which people might not be interested in, why don't we do something different? So they come up with this guy, Shang-Chi. And Shang-Chi is the son of Fu Manchu. And so he's been trained by his father to be a living weapon, and then he finds out who his father is. And so now it becomes...
Drama.
What's that?
I said drama.
Exactly. So it becomes this long... I mean, the series lasted for like 125 issues.
Wow.
So from the middle part of the 70s to the middle part of the 80s, it lasted for a long time. And, it's like... it's not a superhero per se, but it exists in a superhero universe because it's part of the Marvel universe.
This is great, and that's something we haven't really seen.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, in terms of ability.
That's
So
exactly
that'll
right.
feel, yeah.
Just, and it's funny because a couple of years ago there was the Iron Fist controversy for the Netflix show because he's a martial artist and he's white in the comics, and people were like, well, cast an Asian actor, for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's fine if you want to do that, but I'm like, you've got this Asian character who's awesome and is Shang-Chi. Use him.
And now they're going to cast Army Hammer.
And Army Hammer will play Fu Manchu. It's going to be.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing, actually, is that because the rights to Fu Manchu are not held by Marvel.
Mm-mm.
They're held by the estate for this thing, so they have to figure that out.
And I'm sure they will.
I can't imagine that'll be something that requires too much work. But the character is so cool, so interesting. They've never done anything like that, and there's never been like a comic book movie like this.
Dude, you got me excited. Actually, that description, that sounds like something I'd love to see.
I think it's really cool, and the whole series was like an espionage thing because he hooks up with British intelligence and this and that. But I mean, he is the most prominent Asian character in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So when is that supposed to come out?
I would expect that their plan is sometime in the next phase. I mean, they've got it out to a writer right now.
Okay.
Obviously, they want to have it, and when you think of, I mean, this is very cynical, but they want to make some of that crazy rich Asians money.
I'd be lying if I wasn't thinking that. You know what I mean? Because I think at first people were saying they wanted the Marvel universe to become more diverse, and this feels, I mean, calculated sounds like a cynical word, but it's also like, well, why not? Right? That could be a very positive thing. We were talking about representation, so they're going to do the right. It seems like they're going to do the right by this.
I think so. I mean,
put out the good version of this.
If we look at Black Panther as a template of sorts,
sure, exactly,
where you find a culturally appropriate filmmaker,
yeah,
and then go from there. I mean, they're looking at very possibly a Best Picture nominee with Black Panther, so I'm sure that factored in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But again, this is like one of my all-time favorite comic series.
Man, you had me where the hero finds out his dad's the villain. That's great.
Yeah, and I mean that's such an archetypal thing, right? Because we spent a few months ago we talked about the New Gods.
Yes.
And
that sounded good too.
That's the same thing there, right? It's the son who turns against the father, and of course Darth Vader. I mean, it's
Luke,
something that it just reasserts itself.
Yeah, it's funny too. By the way, when you said the kung fu craze of the 70s, that makes a scene in Roma make a whole lot more sense to me now.
Oh.
I thought it was very random. This character who is like really into kung fu, and I was like, so that was like a kind of a moment.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so Star Wars time, based on the music I'm hearing.
Yeah, well, now we are less than a year away from the final film of this current trilogy we got going on. And it's kind of interesting. We haven't seen a trailer yet. Going by what we saw for Force Awakens, we had one around Thanksgiving time, a year out, or a little, just over a year out. So I was sort of hoping something would drop before year end, but we're going to have to wait. And we still haven't gotten a title yet.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but I guess on Hollywood Reporter, we have Richard Newby was sort of speculating, and he noticed that The Last Jedi, that title, came from the opening crawl of The Force Awakens, right? They actually say The Last Jedi.
Skywalker, The Last Jedi, yeah.
Yeah, so what he does is he posits, what if we look at The Last Jedi crawl, and could we find any potential titles for the 9th film in there? And one of them was The Knights of Ren.
Okay.
Which would be interesting, because that was, I think, a point of contention for some, that they were teased in the first one, or in 7, I should say, and not referenced at all in the 8th one. So that is interesting, but it could almost seem like an affront. Like JJ, like, remember that cool thing I brought up? Yeah, it's back. You have The Ashes of the Empire, he suggests.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure about that one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The Rising Tyranny.
That seems like that would be like an episode 7 title.
Yeah. Again, Rising something maybe, but I don't know about the word tyranny. A Spark of Hope, which at first actually I was thinking seemed a little too corny, but on the other hand, it doesn't seem like a bad thing to have the last. We've said that this is supposed to be the culmination of 9 films,
Yes.
not 3.
Yep.
So it would be sort of interesting if it did have an upbeat title.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that for me.
If you can't
of
do
all of them-
Electric Boogaloo,
yeah,
Spark of Hope will do.
Spark of Hope. I'm not sure that I'm crazy about it, but I think out of all of these, that's the one I could most likely.
Here's what I want, Brian. The Last Jedi Episode 2. So Star Wars Episode 9, The Last Jedi Episode 2.
That would be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Just to piss people off.
Yeah.
It's funny because, all the people who are out there just hoping against hope that J.J. Abrams is just going to come in and just run his hand across the chessboard and basically ignore everything that came before. At least in the previous movie, I think they're in for some disappointment.
Yeah, it's not even just that. I think for me, I find it interesting. We've talked about this. It's interesting that they've allowed, even though JJ did 7 and 9, but they very likely could have just had 3 different authors.
Yes,
doing installments in one trilogy, which is
that's
sort
what it
of
was going to be.
Interesting choice. So there's a lot riding on him to bring this trilogy home, but then the whole thing about it really being the culmination of 9 movies, I'm like, well, I don't know if I'd want to figure that out. Try to satisfy an entire, I don't know what you call it, trilogy for 9 movies, but that's a lot. That's a lot to cover. So yeah.
Yeah, and not just that. The last couple of years have shown that a big chunk of Star Wars fandom is just the most ungrateful piece of shit assholes you're ever going to meet. And, nothing's going to satisfy them.
Yeah. And, well, honestly, that goes back even to the prequels. I mean, when you think about the Ain't It Cool days and people talking about George Lucas befouling their childhoods, you know what I mean?
And I remember all of that.
Yeah.
And I guess to some extent, I mean, we were a part of all of that.
Yeah. I mean, look, yeah, we were vocal about our feelings about those movies. I mean, I don't think we used the disgusting hyperbole and vitriol that a lot of
there was
other people
none
did.
of the George Lucas assaulted my childhood and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And we had no Twitter back then, thank goodness.
Yeah, sure.
Right. But am I naive in saying things were nicer back then?
Yes, I think that's part of it. I really do. But I do think there were less bullhorns.
Yeah.
Like you said with Twitter and whatever else. I think there's and people feel this sort of anonymity behind all those things. And I think the only place to do that back then was in message boards or, comment sections.
Yeah. That's a good
and so
point.
now, I mean, even you look at internet news or a Yahoo or something, because I still have my email in Yahoo, which I don't know if that says something about me. I have no idea.
Me too.
But
I still have my AOL address.
oh, but I mean, yeah, some people sometimes are like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, that's a thing? Is that weird?" But so whenever I log on to Yahoo, I always see their front page with their news, and it's like their news seems sort of hateful sometimes.
Wow.
Just like the authors, they're sort of like the BuzzFeed style. Clickbait headline has now seeped into regular news outlets.
Ugh.
And
So exhausting, isn't it?
or not even, I'll say mainstream news outlets, not all of them, but yeah, it's just sort of seeped into the culture. So I do feel like it has advanced, more than it was back then.
One thing I will say about Episode 9, and we've talked about this a little bit, it definitely feels like there isn't the same level of anticipation.
No, which is inevitable, right? Because the more you get of something, the more normal it's going to seem and less special. But I think also, because of all this sort of negative energy that also unleashed with all this stuff, just all those things combined, I think, has sort of exhausted us.
It's a shame.
It is a shame, but I'm still looking forward to it.
Well, I'll tell you, at the end of the year, I'm looking forward to going through every movie in chronological order leading up to Episode 9. That'll be fun. And
that, it sounds like it might reward the experience, right?
Yeah, I mean, including Solo and Rogue One.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like kind of fun. Maybe 2 months out, just start them up.
Episode 1, to episode 8 and including the spin-offs.
Yeah.
I think that'll
Cool.
be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Now you got me excited.
Well, I will never not be excited for new Star Wars.
Same. No one can crap on my parade with that. It's in my fabric.
That should be the title. Don't crap on my parade.
Right.
Episode 9.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder, like, I remember when in the lead up to Force Awakens being like, man, I don't envy J.J. Abrams. Now I, like, doubly don't envy J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, you got to give it to the guy. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
well, he's able to look past the movie at the millions and millions of dollars he's going to make.
this is true. And I also, didn't Disney just sign like a insane deal with him?
Did they? I know he was, like, on the market.
I'm fairly certain they did. I can't believe it.
Did they lock him back in?
I'm feeling like they did. Because I feel like we talked about this, and it's like Disney's gobbling up every sort of large filmmaker or production company or whatever. But I'm very curious what he's going to do after this. I mean, because the only thing we've really seen him do that wasn't another property was Super 8, right?
Yes.
Which was fine. I think it was flawed, and I think it had a lot of positive potential.
Yeah.
You know, it signaled a guy that could do some exciting things, even though it didn't feel like it was fully realized. So I'm very curious. It'd be I've got to imagine his next thing after this is going to be a passion project. So I'd be very curious to see what that is.
Well, so I just looked up JJ's contract situation, and as of November, there's no update past that, but he is looking for a new contract, and the presumption is that Disney will want to lock him in, but I think as of now he's still
A free agent.
Yeah, and he wants like a big $500 million deal.
You could probably get it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he's more known for retooling existing properties, like you said, than for those original things. So you got to wonder, like,
what's his original stuff worth? I mean, he did, I think his Lost days, I think, he got to coast on that for a very long time.
I mean, Felicity puts him on the map.
Yeah, and Alias, of course.
Felicity followed by Alias. Alias was never more than like a cult hit.
Yeah.
Lost comes out and it's a massive hit.
Yeah.
But it starts stronger than it ends.
Yes. And I feel like I think he probably kept an eye on it, but it really was more of like the Damon Lindelof.
Right, I was
Carlton
about to say,
Cuse.
he dodged most of the incoming fire for the Lost ending.
Yeah. And let's not forget Regarding Henry.
Yeah, Regarding Henry is like what really put him on the map. Yeah, good point. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Well, that's going to be something to follow as it goes.
Yeah.
So I would expect that if there is a trailer or something that does drop for episode 9, we'll do like we'll break into our regular show. We'll do like a special episode to quickly talk about that.
Yeah, we'll be like Homer when he sees the trampoline ad in the newspaper. Trampoline.
That'll be us. There you go. Why don't we, and as we collect ourselves with the thought of that, why don't we take a little break, and then we'll do our top 10 lists for the year.
I can't wait.
And we're back, and as we said at the top, 2018 is over, so it's time for our annual tradition of going through our top 10 lists, and as we said at the beginning, this year was, I found it more of a struggle than I normally do, because there were some movies I liked about the same, so putting them in rank order, right?
Yeah. I think I could feel different on another day and rearrange these a little bit.
Yes.
But I'm pretty happy with what's in my top 10. I can imagine the order switching around a little bit. But yeah, it was hard. There were some things that were just knocking on the door really hard trying to get in, and yeah.
So the way we usually do it is you say your 10 and then I say my 10. We just go back and forth, right?
Yeah.
So let's do it. Tell me your number 10, Brian.
All right. And then one caveat, I think I say this every year, but I'm not saying I think these are the 10 best movies of the year, the best made, things are going to win any Oscars. These are Brian's favorite movie watching experiences of 2018. So this is a very personal list and the experience that I had with him. So
Yes, and I'll echo that.
yeah. So for number 10, I had Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
Yeah, because I've seen it. It's still pretty fresh in my head. But the thing that I walked away with, on top of it being a really great, heartfelt story, something that I really found myself plugging into, there's like few times you can say you've never seen something before. And watching that movie, I felt like I was looking at something I'd never seen before. So not only was I really, and it didn't distract from the story. Like, I really liked this character, Miles Morales. I've never read one of his comics, and it made me want to look them up and read them. And I'd mentioned it on the show, too, I think that episode, that this is probably the time I've been most excited about Spider-Man. Between this movie, walking out just made me excited about Spider-Man, and then the PS4 game that I'm in the middle of still.
That game, by the way, is just bananas.
Oh, man, so much fun. I was playing it last night. It's just, not even just your missions, I just love swinging through New York.
Yeah.
It's so exhilarating.
See, I bought my PlayStation with an eye towards, this will be something fun I can do to unwind. And what I've found is that I can't unwind as long as my kids are around. Because I went through this yesterday. I put on Star Wars Battlefront. I'm just going to, go through the game. And, you play these open world games just because they're fun, right?
Yeah.
And I'm playing, and I got 3 kids. Go there, hit X,
right,
circle, move the camera, and it's like being in a car with like 3 people telling you where to go.
Yeah.
And you realize, like, for these kids, this is literally life or death.
Right. And it's I didn't even think about it, but when you said open world, I mean, it used to be Mario. It's like you go to the right.
Yes, right.
You know what I mean? But now there's just so many things and things you got to discover. But when you play it with people who've already done it, they want to tell you where everything is and what to do.
These freaking kids, they're obnoxious. No, yeah. I think that Spider-Verse is, it's an outstanding film. It really is, and it's doing okay, and I'm happy about that. But it's not doing as well as I would hope, and I think the fact that it is a cartoon is a barrier to entry.
I was totally surprised because, you and I follow this stuff pretty closely just because we're interested in it, but also because of the show. And it was to my surprise talking to friends that they had no interest in it.
Yeah.
I thought all of the people who had like-minded interests would be interested in it. But so I've had to talk people into seeing it. And a friend of mine last night saw it who did not want to see it. And from recommendations went and saw it, and he loved it.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that's the story with this movie.
Yeah, and I think, in a way that's fun too, as a lot of people are going to discover it.
Yeah, I wish they would discover it on the big screen though, because I think we talk about CGI garble a lot.
Yeah,
and this movie is overwhelming to the senses, but it's in a way that does not. Well, no, overwhelming is the wrong word because it is stimulating to the senses, but it doesn't overwhelm you. It's just a perfectly realized new vision I don't feel like I've seen before, and I really enjoyed that, and it never made me lose track of the emotion or the heart of the story.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, very well said. Yeah.
All right, let's hear your number 10.
Oh, so my number 10 is a movie called The Final Year. And this is a documentary about the last year of the Obama administration.
I know that title sounded familiar. Okay.
Yeah,
tell me about it. I'm excited.
And this is a really interesting fly on the wall look at basically January of 16 to January of 17. And so we start the year, and it follows. Obama is kind of like a tertiary character. It specifically follows John Kerry as Secretary of State, Samantha Power as UN ambassador, and Ben Rhodes who's like a policy advisor, and their goal of like, we've got 1 year left. And it's so fascinating to me. Like, when you're in administration, it's like if you've got an agenda, whatever it is, it's like we've got whatever we're trying to accomplish, we got this much time left. Mm-hmm. And what makes, again, it was made, with the idea of we're chronicling the last year. But I think in the back of everyone's mind was as we transition to the Hillary Clinton administration.
Oh, interesting.
So you've got this massive twist ending about
Yeah.
2/3 of the way through.
Sort of like that documentary Wiener.
Yes,
It
right.
started off with one direction, and then it got a wrench thrown in its gears.
Yeah, so exactly. So you're in the room with like Obama staffers as they're watching the returns and they're realizing what has happened.
That sounds fascinating.
It is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. And you know me, I'm a massive, massive West Wing fan. This is like real life West Wing. I mean, literally, it is real. I mean, it is. Real
I didn't
life
think of
West
it that way.
Yeah. You know, I was mesmerized by it.
Wow. Well, that sounds like something where I'm like, that's an interesting idea, but I wonder how much they could actually show, how much access they would have, what you would see. But you're totally selling me on it. It sounds like it's pretty
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Brian, what I really liked is that it isn't like Obama propaganda.
Sure.
You know, and I mean, obviously, I'm like a fan of Obama, but I think just I'm also somebody who really devours policy stuff and how things are done and how decisions are made and just the minutia of running a country, of running an administration, all that goes into it. And so this really gets into that. And I think, I mean, I think it's fascinating. I mean, I think it's a true document. Well, I mean, it is a document. It's a documentary, but it's a document of what was happening at this moment in time from here to here. You know.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the two things that are going to always get me to check it out are oral history, if it's something I'm interested in, then it's like, or Fly on the Wall.
Yes.
And I think the reason is because both of those aren't, well, oral histories could be, but they aren't a look back per se. They're from the people who were there.
Yes.
You know, and they might have some context that they have with time, but they were in the room, and it's not people ruminating about what people in the room were thinking. So, yeah, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious what you'd think if you end up watching it.
Yeah.
What's your number 9?
Number 9 for me was The Favorite.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, this was Yorgos Lanthimos' movie that came out about a month ago, and he did The Lobster and The Killing of a Sacred Deer, both of which I liked. And those are dark, dark movies, by the way, just before people go, oh, I'll check that out on a Sunday afternoon. But he has this, and I like dark stuff, but this is pretty dark even for me. But there's just really something to the way this guy spins his stories. So I was really interested in this, and I ended up just really loving it.
Great performances.
Great performances. Yeah, it's Olivia Colman, Rachel Weisz, and Emma Stone, and basically, you know, these two women vying for a queen's favor, basically, and how much influence they can have over her as she's contending with a war, but also her health is failing. And it's one of those things where you look at the trailers and it looks like it could be sort of a stuffy film. But I thought that visually it was really interesting. I know it put some people off, but there's a lot of like fisheye sort of thing going on. But it really envelops you and sort of disorients you, which I think it wants to do intentionally, into this, you know, I don't know, this really old, what could be seen as a stuffy sort of world. And I think the characters were really fascinating, like the way that they were. I think the thing is I kept switching my loyalties to who I liked. And it kept switching all the way up to the end. Yeah. And I was riveted by I was fascinated that I started siding with other people and thinking that I hated this person, but I was like, oh no, they might be right, you know. Yeah. and it's you know, wickedly funny and also somewhat dark, and I don't know. I was with it all the way to the end, and then by the end, I was even like, oh man. I watched it a few nights ago, and I've thought about it ever since. So this is one I really enjoyed.
That is the mark of an effective film.
Yeah.
Number 9 for me is Upgrade.
Upgrade. Yes, I remember this.
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen it.
So this is an interesting one. It is again, like The Favorite. It's very dark. No, it's nothing like The Favorite. I'm joking. No, it's directed by Lee Wannell.
I just thought you meant in terms of dark. Yeah,
it is. I mean, it is a darker version of RoboCop.
Yeah, oh, okay. I totally remember this now. Yes.
You know, or if you want to put it another way, it you know, going back to what I've said previously, it's the film school assignment where you're like, come up with a thing where like you have a regular guy who has to coexist with like this otherworldly intelligence that gives him powers, and somebody goes off and makes Venom, and then somebody goes off and makes Upgrade.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm not going to say anything about it, but it is like The Favorite for you. You know, I watched it and it just stayed with me because it went in some really interesting directions. I thought Logan Marshall Green as the main character is very good, and he's kind of a guy who I've always liked. He's in Prometheus. He's like Noomi Rapace's husband in that movie.
Okay.
And you've seen him. He's like in Spider-Man: Homecoming and stuff. He's one of these guys who familiar faces.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Like I don't want to say anything about it because I think it is worth just watching.
All right, cool.
It's very violent.
Yeah, I remember that even from the trailers, sensing that.
Yes, but it was very good.
Nice.
Yeah. And so that's my number 9. What's number 8 for you?
Number 8 for me is Widows.
I need to watch this. I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, Steve McQueen, like 12 Years a Slave, and just sort of these prestige movies. But then this is his take on a heist film. And I love heist movies. I'm always fascinated with like some sort of impossible goal and then the minutia of how we're going to achieve that goal. And what I loved about this movie was it's not Ocean's 11. I mean, it never tries to make these people into something that they're not. They're just regular people that need to accomplish something that's very difficult, and they do it without the use of gadgets that don't seem plausible. You know, they only have their wits. And there's also a lot about, commentary about Chicago, current state of Chicago and Chicago politics that I found interesting with Colin Farrell. But I really enjoyed the relationship in the movie between two characters played by Viola Davis and Elizabeth Debicki. And they're two polar opposites that are brought together through this situation and don't get along the whole movie, but just seeing them have to work together and actually learn that maybe they've both been through things that the other doesn't realize that could make them more similar than they, first realized. I don't know. I really enjoyed the characters in this movie. I enjoyed the sort of subdued but still equally engaging heist that was at stake. And this was when I went in because I was interested, and I was surprised how much I liked it as I walked out.
Doesn't it feel like Elizabeth Debicki is like just on the verge of really breaking out?
Yeah, because she's played very different people.
Yeah. She's been good in just everything I've seen her in,
Yeah. I mean, she's had sort of heightened roles. I mean, Great Gatsby's the first thing I remember her from.
Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yes, where she plays sort of this almost 60s TV style sort of villain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then in Widows, she plays this sort of, harried character that's just the world
very
is
different.
Just crapped on her, and she's very quiet, but she also has this spark inside of her that no one believes is there, and this situation forces her to bring that out, and I think she does a really good job of that.
Well, there we go. So Widows, that's your number 8, and my number 8 is very similar to Widows. It's Bumblebee.
Oh man, Bumblebee was fighting to get into my top 10.
Was it really?
Yeah, I guess I'm spoiling mine. But
well,
yeah.
I guess it's worth saying that my previous construction of this list did not include Bumblebee, but as I went over it again, I was like, no, I just really liked Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And so I pushed something else out, and yeah, I mean, the idea of a Transformers movie in a top 10 list feels strange somehow. Right. But I think that just goes to the strength of what Travis Knight did here. He just made something that's very, it's very endearing and very sweet.
Yep. I completely agree.
It's not. I mean, it's a very loving pastiche of E.T. and I think. That's a spectrum that, if we're talking about E.T. pastiches, you got like Mac and Me on one end, and then you got Bumblebee on the other,
Right.
So it just stayed with me,
Yeah, I think one of the reasons it was Spider-Man and Bumblebee were just duking it out for me on my list, and I think why it was doing that was Bumblebee. The action was very good, but the action is one of the things I remember the least.
Yes, I agree.
Like I remember the relationship between Charlie and Bumblebee.
I totally agree.
And a lot of their quieter moments, like him. Well, this isn't quiet, but him stumbling around the house is fun, and her, working on the car and talking about her dad. Those are the things I remember about that movie, and I think that says a lot.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Number 7, Brian.
7 for me, Black Panther.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. This is one of those things where I've seen this in some memes recently, but it's hard to believe that movie came out less than a year ago. That feels like ages ago, right?
Yeah.
What was it? February last year. But Black Panther is just one of those movies where what Marvel has done a really good job of. I think, they made Iron Man, and then they made Iron Man 2, and Iron Man 2 is like, sort of feels like a okay riff on the first Iron Man. But then they really found their way where it was like, well, we're going to make Captain America, and that's going to be like a spy movie. And we're going to, they started figuring out how to make their movies, even their new origin stories, differentiate. And then Black Panther comes out, and it's just it completely fits into the Marvel universe and the feel and the tone and the look, but it's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And I think the villain was amazing, Michael B. Jordan. The action was great in this movie. It felt like it could be its own contained thing. It didn't even need the universe to support it.
Yes.
It was just
That's a great point.
Right? Like this could have been a standalone new thing, and this was just a really great example of, blockbuster filmmaking that also made you feel, in the third act, I felt for the villain, and that's always a good thing. Not always a requirement, but it's always something that surprises you.
Yeah.
And makes you be like, well, I still feel like their means are wrong, but I get it, and that's always makes an interesting villain. And
one thought I've had is that I don't envy them trying to come up with the idea for the sequel.
No, but I think what they got going for them, and another reason why I liked it so much, is also a great supporting cast. It's not like just the lead is interesting. I mean, like his sister is interesting, and you got his sidekicks and all these other who's it, like the other king, or not a king? What is it, the guy that his like rival? Yeah, his rival is really interesting, and that they have to work together. And there was just a lot going on in there, more so than a lot of blockbusters take the time to care for, and I think that's why it stood out for me.
Nice, great choice. Yeah, that was number 7, right?
Yes.
Number 7 for me is also about royalty. It's Vice.
Nice.
Just like Black Panther, you've sympathized with the villain, Dick Cheney. This is a movie that's very polarizing. Actually, I've been somewhat surprised. Because I've seen it end up on people's worst lists. And I get it. I've heard some people say, this guy, Dick Cheney, is not worth, spending 2 hours with.
Sure.
And I think for me, while agreeing that he is probably one of the most vile people to ever exist in this United States, I think that Christian Bale's performance is just something that transfixes you.
Oh, I completely agree with that.
I mean, he just becomes Cheney, and it's so, it's like a deep dive into the mouth of madness.
Mm-hmm.
Because this guy, and I think, we talked about this last time, but I think the ways in which McKay puts the story together, and you're unsure of how you're supposed to feel. I think that's sort of by design.
Mm-hmm.
And if The Big Short was sort of the apotheosis of Adam McKay's style as a director, this is a solid extension of that. I agree with what you've said previously, that I don't want the style to wear itself out.
Right.
But I think that it's the most appropriate style for a movie like this.
It's definitely, I mean, if you played all this straightforward, which I'm sure a capable filmmaker could do, but it would probably be relentless.
Yes.
Right. So having his sort of funny gimmick's a bad word, but just his tricks that he sometimes does, I think helps. Spoonful of sugar, right? Helps the medicine go down.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So that's number 7. What's number 6, Brian?
Number 6 for me was Avengers Infinity War.
Hey, wow, 2 Marvels. 3
I know,
Marvels, really.
You know, and it's one of those things where I say this a lot, but I think I really enjoy these movies, and they're starting to sort of they've become like one of my favorite TV series. Right? So it's not like they feel like events to me even anymore, like say a Star Wars film would, but it just has become these dependable things that I tune into and enjoy a lot, and then I just sort of don't think about it a ton until the next one, and then I enjoy it a lot, and it's like one of my favorite TV shows. But Avengers was just this insane thing that should not have accomplished what it did. And It took all those things, 10 years worth of work and characters. I mean, so much story and people and things, and it culminated into something that felt bigger and worthy of everything that came before it, and led to a conclusion that just left me gobsmacked in my seat. And like I was listening to another podcast, and I hadn't thought about it, but they said I remember where I was sitting in the theater when I was experiencing that moment. And I was like, oh yeah, I do too. So I remember the whole theater, going quiet, and we all kind of experienced something. And I think we talk about this. There's so many. It used to be there were more monoculture moments.
Yes.
Movies, TV, whatever. And I feel like those are fewer and fewer because there's so many things now.
Yeah.
But this felt like a moment that everyone sort of went through and reacted to. And it felt kind of special.
Yeah.
And so this was amazing that this movie pulled off what it did. Had the Guardians of the Galaxy fighting alongside, Iron Man, and it's insane. And it had, again, an amazing villain with Thanos and what's his name? Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
So, I thought this was a really, really great action film.
Yeah, it is an achievement, whichever way you look at it. And, people can be critical of MCU movies all they want, but I mean, you see the patience of playing the long game is the payoff in something like this.
Yep.
And I mentioned how before watching Infinity War, me and the boys went through every single MCU movie once a week leading up. And as soon as I got out of Infinity War, I was like, man, I just want to start the rewatch all over again.
Yeah.
Because I felt like all of that made the payoff so much sweeter,
And it's not even like it worked on paper. Sometimes I'll watch a movie and then they'll do, the second act craziness, and I'm like, yep, that feels right.
Right.
But this, I felt all of it. Like it all worked for me, and I think that's real. That's such an accomplishment.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many reasons why that movie should not have worked as well for so many people too. I don't think I've heard very many people say anything bad about it.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm curious again. Avengers Endgame has a difficult task.
Yeah. Seriously.
So that was number 7.
6,
right?
I believe.
No, that was 6. Number 6 for me. Just like Avengers Infinity War, Brian, it is Stan and Ollie.
Oh wow! Okay, great.
Yeah. Oh my God, did I love this movie?
Oh, I'm so glad.
It's what I said in my write up on my blog. I said it's like a warm hug.
It really is. Yeah, I'm glad it's getting brought up because I think more people should check this out. It's going to be through streaming, but I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this movie.
You feel such an affinity for these two men's friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that it takes us through a difficult stretch that includes a rough patch, but it's not about two people who hate each other. It's about two people who love each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Steve Coogan and John C. Reilly, both of them, my God, I mean, they become Stan and Ollie.
Mm-hmm.
It's, and I for the last several days, I've been watching old Laurel and Hardy shorts on YouTube with the kids. And what's great is they are sitting there laughing their asses off.
Oh, really? That's great.
And I'm like, they had these, we're talking about stuff from the 30s and 40s, and they're laughing. This stuff, it just transcends. It will never not be funny.
Yeah, it's timeless. Yeah.
It is. And I've mentioned before, like there have been other movies, dramas made about old-timey comic duos, and they're always like very, very like dyspeptic and like they hate each other and it's all depressing and stuff. And this isn't that movie.
I remember you asking me that when I had said that I'd seen it, and yeah, it isn't that.
And that's what I appreciated about it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just a very sweet movie that I liked it a lot more than I expected. And I figured I would enjoy it. I just didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that some of these are reveals even just that we've seen certain movies.
Yeah,
that we
that's true.
Didn't know, yeah.
All right, we're into the top 5 now.
Whoa.
We're in the end game now.
Wow. All right, ready?
Number 5.
Number 5. Can you ever forgive me?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Not the movie. I'm just asking you, Zaki. Could you ever...
I can't, Brian. I'm sorry. You know what you did.
Now, this is a movie I haven't had a chance to talk about yet, but ever since this trailer, I've just been really intrigued by this story. And this stars Melissa McCarthy. It's based on a true story about this author
She's amazing.
Yeah, down on her luck.
Yeah.
And she, in a moment of desperation, takes a letter. I can't remember who the person is, but a person of note from the past. She comes across it and tries to sell it to an antique shop, and they won't take it because it's not interesting enough. There's not enough of this person's personality in it. So she tweaks it on her typewriter and adds a joke at the end, like a PS and a joke. And then she sells it and makes money. And then over the course of the film, she continues to do this and rip off all these antique shops across town, which, of course, eventually things begin to catch up with her. And just that premise alone, I was like, I am so in. And this was one that I sort of missed because the time of year got busy, but I was like, no, I don't want to wait on this. I really want to see this movie. And I loved it. I loved it. I thought she's fantastic. Robert E. Grant plays her friend in it, and he's fantastic. And what I loved about it is it doesn't manufacture sizzle, right? Like you could imagine the version of this movie where they try to heighten everything and there's like a foot chase where the FBI is chasing her and she rounds a corner and they just miss her or something. But that's just not what this is. Like, this is a really grounded take on this incident. And I think for that reason, it makes the tension feel even more relatable, or something that you could imagine happening in your life and how you would feel nervous. Like, there's a scene where she's trying to take something out of a library where there's a security guard, and it's such a low key, risky moment, but you feel, that feeling where you're like, is that guy looking at me? Like, I can tell.
Right. It's something that's within the realm of the possible.
Yes. And just the story itself, I looked it up and it seems like it was mostly accurate.
Yeah.
And I've just found it's a small scale film, but I think that benefits the story. And really, really interesting characters. Melissa McCarthy's great in it, and it exceeded actually what I was hoping to step into, and I really love this movie.
Yeah, we gave Melissa McCarthy Best Actress at the SF Awards.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. No, yeah, she's playing like a different thing here,
I mean, it's not like your typical Melissa McCarthy character.
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant is very funny because he was in town for a meet and greet and in connection to this film. And I really wanted to go, and I couldn't make the schedule work. I'm like, ugh. And so I saw like my colleagues post their pictures with him on social, and I'm like, oh man, because Richard E. Grant is one of these actors. He's not, like I think your average person on the street wouldn't necessarily know him, But he's been in so many interesting movies.
Yeah. I had to look him up afterwards because I knew him, but I didn't know everything.
He's one of those guys, right?
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
You don't know from what, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so number 5 for me, I mentioned how Stan and Ollie was like a big warm hug. My next one is like a big bear hug because it's Paddington 2.
I've seen this pop up on people's lists, and I will really want to see this.
Have you seen the first one?
No.
Brian, allow me to be presumptuous. You will love both Paddington movies.
I sense this.
Yeah.
I've really got to make time for them.
Yeah. It's funny actually because in my Facebook memories for today, as we're recording this, it came up like I saw this exactly a year ago today, and I posted about it.
Oh.
I mean, it's just such a sweet movie. It's just there's such a spirit of gentility and kindness to it that is so refreshing.
Man, and it's from what I'm hearing, I mean, it's just a really solid script. It's a solid story.
Yes, it is. It is a family movie, not a kids movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
You know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that's what I appreciate about it is that I, as an adult, can watch it and just be fully immersed in this wonderful version of London where, Hugh Grant is like a villain and it's very funny and he's very arch and doing something interesting. But it's a movie that everyone in the family can watch and appreciate.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I sit here and I'm like, when is the third Paddington going to come out?
Wow.
And
Okay.
that's not something I would have expected,
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, okay. This is good. This is great because you're giving me things to write down and check out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you seeing the Paddington movies.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Well, speaking of warm hugs, apparently we're in the warm fuzzies section of our list. For me, is "Won't You Be My Neighbor?" The Mr. Rogers
This
documentary.
missed my list by this much.
Yeah, it bopped around where it went, but regardless, I think it belongs in there somewhere. And it's just one of those things where I grew up watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, so I'm already endeared to the guy. And I don't even remember. I remember with Sesame Street, there was like a period where you didn't want to admit that you liked it or whatever. Like, right. I don't ever remember like any backlash to Mr. Rogers. I mean, you obviously outgrew it at some point in some ways. But I don't ever remember turning on Mr. Rogers because I think he just always seems so sincere.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what I loved about this was, the movie was a little light, and I said that when we talked about it. Like, I almost wish it had dug a little deeper.
Into the man himself.
Exactly. Because you hear all these things. There's a lot of, like, rumors that go around.
It's a hagiography.
Yes. But you hear these things where it was like, well, he was in the army and he killed so many people that he decided to become this guy, and they dispel that myth, of course, in the movie. But I was like, well, what was he like? Like, I mean, they tell you what you could read on a Wikipedia page, I do wish we got
what they're
more into the
saying
psychology.
is that what you saw was who he was.
Yes, and I mean, and we don't have him with us anymore, so we can't really probe his mind, like we could, even though we get to see his wife speaking. But all that aside, I just thought it was a lovely time with a figure who we wish there were more of these days.
Yes.
Right? And at the end, there's so many moments where I teared up throughout it. And there's a moment where he's singing at the end, and people started singing in my theater.
Wow.
With him. And it just, I was getting a little teary-eyed. I could see that, I could hear people sniffing and sobbing around me, and it was just very special, and it was a memorable movie-going experience for me. And I'm very happy, in this day and age where it seems like empathy and kindness is a little bit in short supply. It's really nice to see this sort of person celebrated and remembered, and hopefully people, will want to emulate it. It keeps that spirit alive.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's just we live in an age where it feels like where's Mr. Rogers when we need him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Things. It's like he left and everything just went to shit.
Right.
And he was just. I mean, my sense is that he was just a lovely man who cared deeply for other people, and it's kind of sad that we don't seem to have room for that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who that person is at the moment, but
yeah.
But it's nice to see that person living on.
Well, we got the Tom Hanks movie coming out.
Yeah, very curious, and I think from the director of Can You Ever Forgive Me, whose name is escaping me, but
I can't remember. Yeah, but I mean Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers. That's like a Russian nesting doll of beloved institutions.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was that was your number 4?
That was 4, yeah.
Number 4 for me, Brian, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Ah, yes.
Just like Mr. Rogers, Ethan Hunt is here to let us know everything will be okay, because as long as there's a building to jump across and a mountain to fall off and various
helicopter to dangle from.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have too much to add about this, but I mean, this is a series that is now 23 years old.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
23 years, 6 movies, and you have if not the best, certainly one of the best entries ever in these movies.
Yep.
And I mean, it set such a high water mark for the action genre that people in years to come will be like, oh, it's good, but is it as good as Mission Impossible Fallout did?
I agree.
You know?
Yep.
And that's why this is number 4 on my list.
Nice.
Yep.
Obviously, I agree with that. Number 3. Oh, boy. Solo.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
And look, I know this movie was, people had feelings about this movie, but like, I just can't deny that first theatrical experience with you.
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching a favorite movie from when I was a kid for the first time. And it was just palpable. I just was completely, it was Star Wars, but it didn't have lightsabers in it, but it had all the sights and sounds that I love. It had Han, and I thought, what's his name? Alden Ehrenreich. I thought he was a great Han. Woody Harrelson was great. Donald Glover was great. Just a lot of an interesting villain. Not the greatest villain of all time, but, an interesting foil and good action, a lot of fun. I mean, this doesn't happen enough. We've talked about this. Like, maybe we're getting too old or something, but rarely can a movie make me feel like I'm a kid again, and this movie did. So,
what's funny is I remember watching that the first time with you, and it ends, and both of us are like, wow, that was great. And we sort of like left the theater being like, man, I can't wait to come back in a couple of years and see another adventure of Han Solo.
yeah, yep.
Right? And then to see the box office just completely collapse in on itself and be like, wait, am I not going to see a new adventure of Han Solo? Like
Yeah.
that possibility didn't even occur to us.
No, and it's been interesting because I was surprised a lot of, lifelong Star Wars fans didn't go see
They just skipped it. Yep.
which is fascinating to me. But
And to all those people, F all of y'all.
yeah. We know we're the card carrying fans.
Yeah.
But then those people did eventually. A lot of them I checked it out when it was streaming or Blu-ray or whatever, and they really enjoyed it. So I was like, well, yeah, I told you.
Right.
But yeah, and I also do realize I'm sure people have legitimate reasons why they didn't enjoy it. But for me, I really do feel like it bring me back to my childlike way of watching a film may have covered some sins, but I can't deny the way it made me feel. And
Have you
really
revisited it since Home?
I have, yeah. And I was worried. I was like, is this even going to live up to me? I watched it about 2 months ago again, and I was like, no, I love this.
Yep. I'm with you. I enjoyed that one quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that was your number 3?
Number 3.
Number 3 for me was Infinity War.
Nice.
I don't know if you heard about this movie, Brian.
I have not. Can you tell me about it?
I don't have anything too much to add, but this is probably the movie I've watched the most this year.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much any point I can just jump in, and I think we can be very cynical and look at sort of the Marvel machine,
Mm-hmm.
and it is that because it's all about it's about building franchises on top of franchises, which in turn lead to other franchises, right? That's the whole Marvel
Right.
MO. But, kind of like you with Star Wars, like I'm a kid again when I watch these Marvel movies.
Yep.
This to me, as a kid who grew up reading every Marvel comic I could get my hands on, I'm living the universe that I never dreamed I would get to experience when I was a kid.
Yep. Yeah. Wow. That's gotta be thrilling.
Yeah, and I've said before, so much of this for me is about experiencing it with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the MCU is to a large extent it has a place of preeminence over Star Wars.
Yeah.
And part of that I think is just sheer volume.
Yeah. Sure.
Because what are we like 42 years since the original Star Wars, and there are like 10 movies.
Right.
10 years since the beginning of the MCU, and we're at like 20 plus movies.
Holy cow.
Right. Number 2.
Oh man. The Writer. Have you heard of this movie?
I have not even heard of this.
Okay, so this is a movie I heard about in spring. And it was, I don't know if it was at Cannes or something, and people were So critics were like raving about this movie, and this podcast I really enjoy, they were raving about this. And I was like, okay, I got to seek this movie out. So as the year was wrapping up, I was looking at people's top 10 lists, and I saw this popping up on a bunch of them. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I wanted to see this. So I just had like a free night, and I queued it up. It's like available now, streaming. I think it's on Stars now even. And I watched it, and oh my goodness, this movie is incredible. So there's a little bit of backstory to it. This is going to be my little mini review of it too here, I guess. This woman, Chloe Zhao, I think is how you say it. She's from China. And for a while, a lot of movies were banned over there. So the first movie she ever saw was True Lies, right?
Okay.
And so she's like, well, this is incredible. I want to make movies. So she goes to New York, goes to film school, and then she moves to South Dakota to find stories, which is like, what in the world brought her to South Dakota? I have no idea. So she's making a movie, her first film. And in the process of that, she meets like a guy who works with horses. And in real life, this guy's in a rodeo, and the horse bucks him and like injures his skull, right? So within a year, and then she asks him, I want to make a movie about this event, about you. And so he agrees, and he stars as himself. He's not an actor. His dad plays his dad. His sister plays his sister. And within a year of that accident, the movie is already in Cannes and getting rave reviews. So all this happened in a whirlwind year for these people.
Huh.
And basically what it's about is, you have this guy, and he breaks horses, and he rides in rodeos. And once he has this injury, which, by the way, in the movie, it's not makeup. Like, it's his injury because it just happened.
Wow.
It's about him contending with the fact that he may never be able to do what he feels he was put on this earth to do. And he has another friend that's going through an illness. I believe it was an illness, but he's a real guy in real life, and he's in this unfortunate state where he can't speak very well. He can't even move his body very well, and he has to be taken care of. But he still goes and visits him, and they watch YouTube videos of his glory days at the rodeos. And those videos are actually on YouTube. You can watch them. So it's sort of the filmmaker said it's 50-50, 50% truth and 50%, she sort of turned it into a film. But I cannot even tell you the ride, no pun intended, but that this movie is. Like, it'll make you laugh. It will make you weep. When it was over, it was one of those movies where I just couldn't do anything for 10 minutes. I just had to think about it. And I've thought about it almost every day since. And it's one of those ones I'm like, I'm going to watch this again. I could see like once a year or every couple years, just pulling this movie out and just going on this journey with these people again. And I think, sort of the authenticity that inevitably comes along with having the real people involved. It feels like a really earnest, non-judgmental look at a slice of life for people, in this country going through an experience that I don't know. But I still feel like I love them and care about them and care about where they're going.
That's amazing.
It's just absolutely riveting, and I highly recommend it.
What's interesting is the name, Chloe Zhao. That stuck out to me because she's going to be doing a Marvel movie.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she's doing a movie called The Eternals.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I know she has something else in development that's about early, like, Oklahoma and, like, the police and things like that, like another sort of...
So she seems like a talent to watch.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so excited. I'm going to check out her first film, too, but I haven't seen it. But this movie made me a fan.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay, so that was your number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 for me, Black Klansman.
Oh, nice.
I just really like this movie. I think it just manages to walk this tightrope between procedural thriller and social commentary and black comedy, and it never falls over.
Yep.
I think that John David Washington is the lead character. This is for those of you who don't know. It's a true life story about a black police officer in Colorado in the 70s who convinced the KKK over the phone that he was a white guy because he did like the white guy voice that black people do.
Right. Like in Sorry to Bother You as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Which almost made my list, by the way. but him and Adam Driver as his partner kind of create this fake person who ends up, joining the KKK. And Adam Driver is like amazing in this movie.
Mm.
Without doing much, it's not a showy performance by him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, did you see it?
Yes, I did.
The movie culminates in, the KKK people are planning this like terrorist attack on this black activist, and we're racing the clock with John David Washington trying to get there, and sort of what ensues there. It says something about the movie, the world the movie's created, that you're fully like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously it's very much a commentary on everything that's going on right now. You have David Duke played in the, and this might sound bad, but Topher Grace was put on this earth to play David Duke.
He's very good.
I don't know if you would take that as a compliment, but
yeah.
It's funny. He told this story like about the making of the movie where, like in between takes, like they're shooting a scene where it's him and John David Washington's character, and in between takes, Spike Lee would be like, he would pull Topher Grace aside. He's like, "Okay, I want you to say this," and it would be like the most awful, racist, horrible thing you could say.
Oh man.
And Topher Grace is like, I'll if you want me to say that, I'll say it, but I need you to say to everybody that I'm saying what you told me to say.
Right. Yeah, that'd be so uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the film juxtaposes what it shows us about the character David Duke with footage of the real David Duke at the end, and you just you just want to punch him in the face.
Right. Yeah.
As far as how true it is to what actually happened, it seems like it played pretty fast and loose. But I think just as a kind of story that only Spike Lee could have told, I think it's exceptional. I think it's Spike Lee's best since like Malcolm X.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, we're at number 1.
Number 1, unbelievable. Number 1 for me, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Hey, all right. All right.
It's like you're tempted to put something else up there that feels a little more prestigious, but I can't deny it. I mean, I loved this movie. It's the movie I saw 3 times in the theater, and nice. I don't do that. You just can't these days. It's much more difficult, and I enjoyed it every single time. Like you were saying, I mean, this series is well oiled at this point, but the fact that it keeps improving upon itself and surprising me and delighting me. The action is great. I like the characters. Even the story is interesting when it doesn't need to be. It could just be a set piece palooza. It just was my favorite time in a movie theater this year.
It really is exceptional. And I just like to add that I know you don't use Twitter that often, but it's worth logging in every once in a while just to read Christopher McQuarrie very openly and genuinely answer all kinds of questions from all kinds of people about specifics and how things are done and how things are made, and Phil Nobile, who's editor-in-chief of Fangoria, he tweeted something to the effect of like, in lieu of commentary tracks, which are becoming fewer and further between, we have things like Twitter, where if we engage with these filmmakers in a right way, in a non-douchey way, like basically anybody but Rian Johnson, unfortunately, they're willing to answer questions, and Christopher McQuarrie is, I think, one of the great storytellers out there right now.
Yeah, and I've heard, when you watch... Well, let me back up. I listened to a ton of interviews with him this year because he is very generous in that way. And he did one with the Empire podcast,
yes.
Like Empire Magazine, that was literally 4 hours long.
Amazing.
And I, split up over multiple days. I listened to the entire thing. I listened to him on some other podcast. I mean, So it's very interesting to get that much insight into something that you enjoy, but also when you hear how they did this, you're like, there's no reason on earth this should have worked.
Yes.
I've heard someone call it, it's almost like filmmaking jazz, the way that they made this movie, but it all came together. And I also want to call out the score by Lauren Balfe.
I need to download that.
Oh my goodness. I've listened to it a lot. When I'm writing, which makes it, it's a little more intense than what the dogs are up to in the stories I'm writing, but it's very, very good. It's
nice.
it's been a while since there's been sort of a film score that I keep going back to that I really enjoy.
Actually, Brian, while we're talking about scores, I want to recommend the Bumblebee score. It's really good. I've been listening to that one a lot.
Okay, yeah, I'll check that out.
It's very good. Yeah, anything else to add about Mission Impossible?
No, just that I'll probably watch it again and love it again. So.
Yeah, it's, again, I think that, this is something we said probably when we talked about the movie when it came out, but I mean, Ethan Hunt has now become one of the movie icons.
Yeah. And I also think, obviously this franchise is sort of known now for putting Tom Cruise's life at risk. And I gotta be honest, in a perverse way, it's really exciting. And it's cool to see him continue to top all of these stunts. And I've enjoyed all of them. But I remember one of my favorite moments in that movie was when he had a tracker on Henry Cavill's character and he's chasing him through London, and the score is rising, and he's getting closer and closer, and the people who are watching him on the iPad you're almost there. And I remember almost just yelling as a release in the theater. I was so amped up during that moment. And that's not even the most crazy, that wasn't even a stunt.
Right.
And I just think, when you got me like that, you got me. So
McQuarrie, somebody asked him about the names for characters, and specifically they were like, how do you come up with names like Ilsa Faust or August Walker? Mm-hmm. And he's like, those were both just like placeholder names. And I'm like, but they're so good,
I know.
Right?
I know. Yeah.
And I think Henry Cavill cocking his fists is like one of the great cinematic images of the year
of 2018 for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
That bathroom fight is friggin' amazing.
So good.
Yeah. I mean,
so good.
Yeah. I would just go and flip to that,
Best bathroom fight since True Lies. Going back to True Lies.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So that is your number one. My number one, Brian.
Yes, I'm excited.
Anticlimactic. It is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's not anticlimactic.
Well, yeah, because you already said it, and so it's like
no. But I want to hear what you have to like. Why? Why was it number one?
I think that the value of Spider-Man is that he can look like anybody underneath that mask.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, growing up, that was something I was very acutely aware of. I knew, well, I can't be Superman, I can't be He-Man. But if I put on the mask, I can be Spider-Man. I was 7, and I was 6, and I knew that.
Wow.
Right? And so to see that what it was like to be a little brown kid hoping and wishing I could be Spider-Man, to see that actualized in a film, and to essentially have Spider-Man be the one who takes Miles by the hand and teaches him how to be Spider-Man. That's like the fantasy of every little kid.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You know what I loved in that movie was there was never a moment when they had their senses go off and like, oh, you're like me.
Yeah.
It was never like a jealousy or a questioning of it. It was like, oh, well, we're allies.
Yes.
Like we help each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I didn't even know the first time I watched it that Chris Pine is the earlier Spider-Man.
Yeah, I recognized his voice right away, actually, but I didn't know he was in it. It was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. And then Oscar Isaac is in it at the very, very end.
Yeah. Is he the end credit thing?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I'm like, I just love that they threw these guys in there. I just think it's just a very special movie. I mean, I think that it's an animated film, but it's not a kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this goes to what I said earlier. It is a family movie, and it gets to sort of the mythical resonance of this character. It gets to why Spider-Man, more than any other superhero, occupies like a place in the firmament all to himself.
Yeah. That's like it's like the theme of the film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so I've seen it twice now, and I know I'm going to be watching it like all the time when it comes out on digital.
Yeah, and I would recommend that people do that. But if people have a moment, I would totally recommend seeing it on a big screen.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
So that is my top 10.
Hey!
These were great. I honestly, you've given me a couple things to check out. The Rider, I absolutely. That's Rider, Rider, by the way, for those of you listening.
Yes, yes.
Not the writer, in case anybody.
Yeah. And I will say, too, just because I really do want people to check this out, like the first 10 minutes start a little slow as we're getting introduced to everybody and sort of figuring out the tempo of this world and lifestyle. But I promise you, it really gets going and takes you somewhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good place to wrap up this episode.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we should mention our honorable mentions.
Ah, yes, good call. What nearly made the cut and didn't?
Excuse me. Bumblebee. Man, that was just fighting to get in the top 10. I really loved Bumblebee, to my surprise. I thought I would like it, but I loved it. Quiet Place. Almost easy to forget. That was just about a year ago. I was going to try to make some joke about Bird Box again because basically Bird Box is like kind of a similar thing, I think, right? But instead of noise, it's eyes. But Bohemian Rhapsody, it's like an okay movie, but in terms of theatrical experiences, the last 20 minutes, I mean, they really pumped me up. So I think it's worth calling out how exciting it was to see that Live Aid recreation.
Yes.
I also had Black Klansman, going into your list now, Stan and Ollie, which I thought was really delightful. I have to mention this movie Vox Lux. It's almost hard for me to recommend to people because it's kind of challenging, and it might not be for everybody. But I truly haven't been able to get this out of my head. And I think what I liked about it is it drops you into this challenging world that's maybe not fun even with these characters, but I truly felt transported and I enjoyed experiencing these people's experiences for a little bit and then just being lifted out of it. There's really something about it that won't let me go. So I have to mention that. Mary Poppins Returns, I thought was, it wasn't, say, something that's probably going to stick with me for years and years. I really did enjoy the experience of watching that, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Three Identical Strangers, which I thought was a really intriguing documentary about a story I didn't know about, that I have to thank MoviePass, honestly. I don't know if I've seen it without it.
That's right.
And then lastly, Roma. I think I have to mention Roma. A trend I've noticed this year is movies that just sort of immerse you.
Yes.
And I think not even just in the pace of the film where they allow you, they're not making you focus on one thing. They're sort of allowing you to look at everything that's going on around the people in the story. I think Vox Lux was like that. Roma was very much like that. It's just this is Alfonso Cuarón's movie. We haven't talked about this. This is, I guess, my really quick mini take on it.
Yeah.
It's apparently a loving ode to his nanny.
Yes, that's right.
From growing up, who is still alive, and the movie is dedicated to her. But it follows her, but you also have a concurrent story of the family that she takes care of that's going along with what's going along with her. And it's shot in black and white, and I really do think it's to the film's benefit because with all the color, I think you wouldn't know where to look. You'd just be looking at the actors the whole time. But when it's in black and white, everything sort of pops a little bit more with the contrast, and there's so much to look at, and it's clearly a very, very specific recreation of Cuarón's memories. And even the way that it's filmed, sometimes the camera is just slowly panning from right to left, and it almost feels like it's not focusing on anything. It sort of reminds me of like the precogs in Minority Report. Like, like you are dropping in on someone's memory and you're sort of just observing it as an outsider and catching whatever the frame happens to be catching. And there's something really interesting about that. And while it didn't grip me as emotionally as something like The Rider, it really was a great journey. And I think by the end, a really, really harrowing third act, which is a technical marvel, an emotional experience. Just a really fascinating film. So I thought that's definitely worth mentioning.
It's a movie that I really appreciated.
Yes.
It didn't get my hooks into me enough for me to make it like a top 10 movie, but I think it's absolutely worth watching. Yeah.
Completely agree. Yeah, I didn't. Yes, it didn't get its hooks in me. That's a good way of putting it. But I really appreciated watching it. It's definitely worth watching.
Yes.
And just real quick, I wanted to bring up something because it's the place to do it. that I thought was kind of fascinating. When I watched Green Book, I noticed the ratio was a little different, and I noticed it because I saw it on a television, and I was like, usually the black bars you see are 185, which means there's no bars on your television, or it's 235 where it's the noticeable bars, right?
Yeah.
And Green Book had these really thin bars.
That's interesting.
And I looked it up, and it's a new ratio, relatively new, called, I'm going to say this wrong, Univisium.
Okay.
And it's so comedies are typically 185, action films are typically 235. This is 2001.
Okay.
And a lot more movies are being shot in this format because it's a little more TV friendly. And
that's interesting. Okay.
And I thought what was interesting about it, and I noticed this first with Vox Lux, is it feels like, when Christopher Nolan was doing his IMAX films,
yeah,
you notice the tops and bottoms of locations more than you did with anything else because the ratio is more like a box. And there's something almost more transportive for me than 3D with that sort of visual. And I noticed in Vox Lux, I noticed a lot more top and bottom of the locations. And then I noticed it in Green Book because of that ratio. I noticed it in Roma even. Like a lot more, the camera is not in people's faces so much.
Yeah.
And it's pulled back a little bit, so you are sort of almost like you're standing behind these people and taking in their location as well as what's happening with these people. And I just The Favorite was like that too, and I think a lot of that had to do with the lenses he was using. But just what's above and below them is almost as important to transport you into these stories, and that's just something I was noticing more toward the end of the year. And I wonder if we'll see. Just in terms of style. I mean, for a while, style was shaky cam and in your face and really dizzying. And now I'm noticing the camera pulling back a little bit. So I'll be curious to see what that looks like this next year.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's a trend to watch.
Yeah.
And is that all your honorable mentions?
That's it. Let's hear yours.
The stuff that just missed it for me, the Mr. Rogers documentary, which we talked about, that was a close one. Chappaquiddick.
Ah, okay.
This is an interesting one. I had been meaning to watch this, and then our listener Jeremy Lloyd messaged us and was like, "Oh, you should really check it out." So I watched it on his recommendation, and I thought it's a really it's a harrowing story. I'm sure it's about Ted Kennedy and what happened with the Mary Jo Kopechne. But it's just a really great character piece, and Jason Clarke in the lead role. I've always loved Jason Clarke. I tend to like him in just about everything he does.
Oh, yeah.
But this is probably one of his best performances.
Wow. Okay.
Creed 2.
Oh, yeah.
This was a squeaker for me. I ended up, it was like between this and Bumblebee, and I went with Bumblebee.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know me. You know how much I love the Rocky movies. And this is just a very worthy continuation of that. Mm-hmm. So those three were my honorable mentions.
Yeah. And of course, we should also say there's a ton we didn't get to see.
That too.
I was dying to see Shoplifters. And
a bunch of screeners that I'm still trying. Oh, actually, you know what? One more I want to mention. The Old Man and the Gun.
Oh, yeah. That was another one I wanted to see.
Yeah. So this is directed by David Lowery, who I've had the opportunity to interview twice now. He did a movie called Ghost Story a couple years ago.
Oh, that's right. And you recommended that pretty highly to me.
I did. Did you ever see that?
No, it's I have I actually made a document. You say all these movies and you always forget them when you want something to watch. Yeah. I made a document and write these things down, and I just saw it the other day that I still have that from you.
Well, so this is, it's set in like the early part of the 80s, and it stars Robert Redford as a real-life bank robber named Forrest Tucker. But I think what makes the film stand out to me, above and beyond the performance, it's a great performance by Redford, and supposedly it's his last time acting.
Oh, right, yeah.
But it's made to be a 1980s movie.
How so?
So stylistically, in terms of like the titles and the filming style, film stock even, it looks like something that would have been made in the 80s.
Go on.
Yeah, and I appreciated the immersion in the period that David Lowery had. And Lowery's a real interesting guy. Again, he did another movie a couple years ago called Ain't Them Bodies Saints, which stars which also stars Casey Affleck, actually. So this is 3 movies now with Casey Affleck. Actually, now that I think about it, he did Pete's Dragon with Redford, so that's how they know each other.
Oh, I've been. That's another one.
That
I've
one,
heard is very good.
It's good. It's good. Yeah. David Lowery. This guy is like I mean, he tends to make really good movies, and I feel like people don't talk about him enough. But this one was like that. It just missed the list. I think it's very good.
Yeah.
The Old Man and the Gun. So absolutely worth watching.
Cool.
And that's it for me, Brian.
Same here.
All right.
This is really fun.
It was. I'm glad. This is a list of genuine surprises. Genuine pleasant surprises.
And recommendations for sure.
Yeah. So folks, let us know what you thought. What did you think were some of the best movies that you didn't hear us talk about? We'd certainly love to read some of those on our show. Don't come at us with like, oh, you missed this, because you know what? It's our list. F off. Right? Don't be presumptuous.
No, but yeah, I would love to hear.
Don't be rude.
Love to hear. Don't be rude. Come on now, Mr. Rogers taught us anything.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely let us know your favorites. We'd love to read some of those on our next episode. And we will be back in let's see, our next episode. I think we're going to be talking about Glass.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Glass? Who the hell cares about Glass? See, because Bruce Willis. See, it's funny. I'm very proud.
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. See. Anyway. That'll probably be our next episode, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That comes out January 18th.
Man, yeah, it's soon.
We will definitely be doing our Bill and Ted commentary next month, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That is a thing that is for sure happening. So thank you, everybody, once again. And please do check out our previous commentary for Home Alone. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And while I have you folks, please go to the Nostalgia Theater Show and check out the 2 episodes that I dropped in November, including my interview with Dan Gilvezan, a.k.a. the original Bumblebee, and also my commentary track with John Trumbull for Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Which is great.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, I've been going through. I have about 20 minutes left on that one, but I've really enjoyed it.
I think with that one, we really made an effort to make it something you could just listen to without needing to watch along with the movie.
Oh, very much so, and a lot of like trivia and things that I found very interesting.
And it's short, folks. It's only like 70 minutes or something,
Yeah.
And Brian, where can people find you online or elsewhere?
Well, elsewhere you can find me writing for Puppy Dog Pals, which is on Disney and Disney Junior, and I think next week. Shoot, I don't have a calendar in front of me. Was that like the 11th or something? That is when we start new episodes again. We were on a little bit of a break over the holiday, so you can check that out.
Well, there we go. And as for me, you can find me at my website, ZakisCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. That's also my Twitter. That's also my Instagram. So please do reach out. Also, go to iTunes and leave a review for the Movie Film Podcast. We got one review from somebody who's very upset at the number of ads that we have on our show.
Oh, really?
And to this person, I say, hey, man, brother got to eat.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I should say this, but it's pretty easy to hit the 15-second button.
I mean,
I do that with all the other podcasts.
They left us a 1-star review because of the ads.
Oh, wow.
And,
does he listen to podcasts?
Yeah. So folks, I don't normally do this, but can we please counter that? Because that's a lot of noise. So come on, y'all. So go to iTunes if you have not done so, and please leave a review. And you can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. And please let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear us do in the future. That wraps up episode 163 of the show. 2019 is here. It is here to stay until December. Then it'll leave. It's only 12 months. But we'll be back soon. On behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, my name is Zaki Hassan. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Welcome, friends. It's the Movie Film Podcast. The Movie Film Podcast.